All right, we'll get started. So good morning, everybody. Thank you all for coming. I'm Corporal Frank Jang of IHIT. So today marks the one-year anniversary of the homicides of Jassi, Bhangal, and Jason Jhutty. Today, we have with us the family members of Jassi and Jason. In a moment, each family will come up and address the media and the public. Speaking on behalf of the Bhangal family will be Jassi's older sister, Sharon, spelled S-H-A-R-O-N. Speaking on behalf of the Jhutty family will be Jason's older sister, Pavan, spelled P-A-W-A-N. Now, as a background, 1 year ago today, on June 4, 2018, at around 10:30 p.m., the bodies of 17-year-old Jassi Bhangal and 16-year-old Jason Jhutty were discovered with gunshot wounds in the area of 192th Street and 40th Avenue in Surrey. Now, the two teenage boys were last seen alive playing basketball with a group at George Vanier Elementary School in Surrey. IHIT continues to actively investigate and gather evidence, and we need the public's help to further our investigation. This remains a priority investigation for us, and all leads are being pursued to identify Jassi and Jason's killers. It only takes 1 or 2 phone calls from the right person with the right information to significantly advance a homicide investigation. We urge anyone with information today to please come forward and help us solve the murder of 2 teenage boys. At this time, I'm going to ask the family of Jassi Bhangal to join me on stage, and Sharon will address the media. Please.
Hi, my name is Sharon, and I am the older sister of Jaskarn Bengal, also known as Jassi. Exactly 1 year ago today, my little brother was found murdered on a roadside in Surrey. When the police came knocking at our door in the early hours of the morning, it left us in utter shock. We could not comprehend what had happened, and our family hasn't been the same since. If Jassi was still here today, we would have been celebrating his 18th birthday this past January. Although my brother and I were 2 years apart, both of our birthdays were in January. And for the past 17 years, we had celebrated our birthdays together. This time around, he was not here to celebrate it. My birthday will never be the same. I now realize that I didn't just lose my baby brother, but I lost a piece of myself which I could never get back. I lost my only sibling, and my parents lost their only son. My brother and I had a relationship like no other. He was my best friend and my other half. Every obstacle we faced together. He was always there for me when I needed him the most. Jassi was known for his huge smile and contagious laugh. You could always catch him making the silliest jokes that would put a smile on your face. There was never a dull moment with him around. In general, he was just a really happy kid with so much love to give. Jassi was an extraordinary individual. He had a bright future ahead of him. He was in grade 8 when he got his first plumbing job for my uncle's business. For the past 4 years, he spent his summers working at the plumbing job or helping my dad on the weekends, so he could save enough money for his dream car, which was a Mustang. My brother's passion for cars was unreal. He could tell you the specs of a car just by looking at it. Jassi was eager to learn about cars and was excited to pursue a career as an auto mechanic. He was already looking into BCIT so he could apply in 2020, as he would have completed his apprenticeship program with a local auto body shop. Jassi would have been graduating high school with his fellow classmates this year, and our family was looking forward to seeing what the future had in store for him. Unfortunately, we will not get to see my baby brother grow into the man that he deserved to become. Jassi deserved to graduate, to go to university, and to celebrate the many more years ahead, and more importantly, to live life, all of which was selfishly stripped away from him and our family. My little brother just went to go play basketball and never returned home. We don't know why this happened, who did it, and what motive they had behind it, which are all questions that still go unanswered today. No family should have to experience this type of heartache. My family and I haven't been the same since. We have a huge hole in our hearts that will never be filled, and our eyes will always ache to see him smile one last time. So I urge anyone with any information regarding the murder of Jaskarn Bangal to please come forward and contact IHIT. If you wish to remain anonymous, contact Crime Stoppers. Any piece of information will help. Please help bring justice to my family. Jassi Jasa Koini. Thank you.
My name is Pevin. I am the older sister of Jason Jhutty. Jason is the youngest of 3 in our family. We like to call him the baby of our family. He was the heart of our home. He made our family complete. This past year without him has been dark and full of pain. We have felt his absence in every minute of every day. Jason was one of a kind. He had the heart of a giant and was the kind of person who would think with his heart before his brain. Jason was always calm and usually smiling or laughing. He was a gentle soul. I always thought he was ahead of his time. He had the brightest ideas and could find a solution for almost any problem. Everyone always had something to learn from him. Jason was born and raised in Surrey. Gang violence has been a topic in our home since my brothers were in high school. Education and knowledge against drugs and gangs were my parents' #1 concern and priority. Jason had no criminal record or even interaction with police. It seemed as if we were doing everything right as parents and as older siblings. On June 4th, my baby brother left to go play basketball and never came back. Later that night, his body was found on a rural street in South Surrey. Our worst nightmare began that night and hasn't ended since. It never will. We have no answers as to why someone would ever do this to Jason. He was only 16 years old. He was just a child. No parent should ever have to spend their life wondering what could have possibly happened in their child's final moments. Someone out there knows what happened to Jason. They know why he didn't come home. We are urging anyone who has any information to please contact IHIT or Crime Stoppers if you wish to remain anonymous. Please know that no information is considered irrelevant. The smallest piece of information means everything to us. Our family should be helping Jason prepare for his high school graduation, but instead we are asking our community to help solve his murder. We must ensure that justice is served. Thank you.
Please keep in mind that this is an active investigation. There's not a lot of details I can get into, but I can certainly take your questions at this time.
Frank, so can you please, do you have the address for George Vanier School? Were they playing basketball near where their bodies were later found?
Could somebody look at, I don't, yeah, I don't have the address. No.
Earlier, at the beginning of the investigation, you believe that the boys were targeted, but they were not known to police. Was this a case of mistaken identity in this case, or do you think that it was bandit suicide?
No, it's not that case at all. And we are still firm in our belief that it was a targeted incident. I can even further tell you that based on what we've learned in the past year, we believe that this is gang related. It is, yes. We believe, that's our belief, yes. But I will also say that our 2 boys, our 2 young men, I will again reiterate that they were not known to police, did not have criminal records, didn't have really any police interactions of any kind. And we still need the public's help to come forward. Absolutely, yeah, in the past year, we've garnered significant evidence, information. We've spoken with a number of people. But, and we also believe that there are people out there with information, some with very intimate knowledge of what happened. And some individuals have been very forthcoming with their information, some have not. Some have shut the door on us. And We're hoping that they will reopen those lines of communication with us, that they will come forward, help us solve the murders of two young boys, because quite frankly, we're not going anywhere.
Frank, these were murders that really shocked the community because of the age of the boys. It sparked the Wake Up Surrey rally. Can you speak to that, about how it shook up Surrey, or maybe woke up Surrey?
Certainly, yeah. This investigation shocked the community, no doubt. It even shocked us as members of IHID who have seen a lot of homicides, unfortunately, in our community. And we are working so very hard to solve the case, to provide answers for two grieving families. And we're hoping that those people that I just mentioned, that those people that have information about what happened to these boys 1 year ago would finally do the right thing and step up and contact us, provide the information that we're all wanting to hear.
Speaking of the Wake Up Surrey that's being prompted by that, and in the wake of some talk about the Surrey Municipal Police Force, I know that doesn't directly affect you guys as IHID
Yeah.
and your team. However, when you have people saying that they started this group because they don't feel safe in their own community, particularly after this double homicide, how do you respond to that?
Well, it's a concern for us, certainly, when members of the community express fear being in their community. Public safety isn't really a prerogative of IHIT. We're here to solve the murders in our community. So in this case, it happened in Surrey, and I can tell you our colleagues in Surrey, RCMP, take public safety very seriously in their community. So we're partnering with them and other law enforcement partners to get to the bottom of what happened. But all those other things going on in the community aside, I mean, our first and foremost priority is to find out who the killers are of Jassi and Jason. And if you can help us, we need to talk to you today.
Frank, we were here recently and had another news conference on a different case, and you were again talking about how you knew there were people out there that had information that aren't provided. And again, we're hearing the same thing. How frustrating is that for the investigators?
It is frustrating, certainly. It would make our jobs much easier if people were just forthcoming from the beginning. But there are those who need a little convincing, and we will wait it out. If it takes a day, if it takes a week, if I have to be up here every single day pleading on behalf of families and victims, I will do so. So we will wait it out, and in our experience, there are those who actually find it in their conscience, in their hearts, to do the right thing. And that's what we're hoping for today.
We quote that Jason and Jassi had no previous contact.
That's right.
With police. Can you talk about why you think this is gang related, or whether you believe they had
Yeah.
ties to gang activity?
I can't get into that at the moment. It's an ongoing investigation. It's certainly we have our investigational theories on what happened, based on those that we've spoken with. We need people to still come forward and fill in the blanks for us. But today, unfortunately, isn't a day that we're announcing charges. We're not there yet. No one's been arrested or charged with respect to the two murders. We're hoping that there is a breakthrough in the case soon, but that is not today.
Is there any people of interest that you're looking at, any suspects?
Certainly, there's several people that we're looking at that we believe have information about this case. Some that have general knowledge, and some we believe have very intimate knowledge. And those are the ones that we need those people to step forward today.
The burnt out cars that were found, can you positively confirm that they were linked to the murders now?
Well, certainly, yeah, we believe they're linked to the two murders of Jassi and Jason. I can tell you that we followed up. The owners are not suspects in the case. But that avenue of the investigation has been exhausted. We've been able to collect significant evidence from that. And unfortunately, I can't go any further than that.
Does that mean they were stolen?
Yeah, I can tell you we've investigated it fully. We determined what information we needed to gather from that, and that remains part of the investigation.
So this was targeted, you believe it was gang related, they have no criminal charges, but clearly they were involved in something untoward. Is that a logical assumption?
As far as we know, based on police databases, members of the community, friends, schoolmates that we've spoken with, everyone that would have known what these two young boys were up to. They were not criminals. There's nothing to show that. There is no linkages that we've been able to find in the last year to associate them to any sort of gangs.
Were they the intended targets of this?
Yes, this is not a case of a random murder. They were not randomly murdered. Yeah. Or I would say this is not a stranger on stranger, whatever you like to call it. It's not the case. So that was the question that was asked up front here. No, it's not.
So can you help us explain to the audience, you know, it's gang related, they were targeted, but they have no criminal ties. Like, how do we explain that to our audience that, like, is it just that there was no evidence they had ties to gangs? Like, is there an explanation we can give our audience that would make sense?
Fortunately, that's as far as I can go right now. So we believe it's gang related based on what we know. I certainly can't get into the details of an ongoing investigation. I can't get into the details of everything that we've gathered in the past year. But we ask that the community to please have confidence in IHIT and our partners to do our job. We are confident in our experience and our methods. We've had certainly high-profile homicide investigations. Really, every homicide is a high-profile investigation. And although at the time we couldn't share the information, I reassure you that investigators are hard at work behind the scenes. And again, we hope to have a breakthrough in the case soon. We hope to have those answers for those families soon. So please have confidence in us and please be patient.
Is there any evidence they were holding on to drugs or passing drugs within the school?
There's nothing that I'm aware of that would suggest that, no.
So when you say it's gang related, were the suspects in gangs, or are you saying these kids were in gangs? When you say it's gang related.
Yeah, we're based on our investigational theory on what we've learned from what the people that we've spoken to, we believe that this is gang related. But to again reiterate, the boys, as far as we know, they were not members of gangs, okay? But there are several people, some would call them persons of interest, whatever you want to call it, people that we believe have information about the murders. Yeah. We need those people to come forward. This case is not over yet.
The 16-year-old and the 17-year-old, as Sharon pointed out, you know, just a child. Can you just talk about, you know, we talked about this being gang-related in some way, but can you talk about how troubling this is to see two teenagers, the victim of murder in Surrey?
It's incredibly troubling. I mean, it's heartbreaking to witness what we just saw from the families, and I can tell you they're just from having met them and speaking with them, they're such great families, and certainly didn't do anything to have this you know, on them, and having to live with that of losing two sons when at this time they should be, you know, preparing for their graduations, preparing to celebrate. It is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to us, and we are going to do our utmost to find those responsible, hold them accountable. Any other questions?
Oh, do you have the names of the parents, please?
I will have to get that for you. Yeah. I will send out a news release with spellings and everything else, so just give me about 30 minutes after.